Hello everyone and welcome to this Laravel tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going to build a smart task management system from scratch using the latest version of Laravel, Inertia, and React. To follow along, you will need a solid grasp of PHP and JavaScript fundamentals, plus a little bit of React. But before we jump into coding, we need to set up our development environment. Since we will be using Laravel Sail, the only requirement on your machine is Docker and Docker Compose. I'm on Ubuntu and already have them installed. But don't worry if you're on Windows or Mac. I've put the official Docker installation guides for Linux, Windows, and macOS down in the description below. By using Docker, we make sure everyone works with the exact same versions of PHP, MySQL, and all other tools we need. Plus, everything runs inside an isolated container, so nothing on your main system can interfere with our project. Now that the Docker is ready, we are going to install Laravel using Sail. And we don't even need PHP installed on our machine. First, let's make sure we are in the right place. I keep all my projects in a folder called Projects inside the home directory. If you don't have one, create it and jump in. Now we will use a temporary Docker container that has PHP and Composer built in. That container will run the Laravel installer and create our project, which I'm going to call Tasky. This way, we don't install anything globally, it all stays inside Docker. The command looks a bit long, but I will break it down while it runs. Here's what's happening. We are telling Docker to run a temporary container using the --rm flag, so it disappears when done. The --user flag and the volume mount make sure the files are created with our own user permissions, so no permission problem later. Inside the container, we install the Laravel installer and then immediately create a new project called Tasky in the current directory, which is the app directory in the container and maps to our projects folder on the host. Give it a minute to download and set everything up. Now the installer asks a few questions. Let's choose yes for the starter kit. Next one is the front-end stack. Let's choose React. Then let's choose Laravel's built-in authentication for authentication provider. The next one is the theme support. Let's choose yes. It will now scaffold the whole project. At the very end, you might see an error like this. The command npm install failed or npm not found. Let's not panic. This happens because the Docker image we used only has PHP and Composer, not Node.js. The starter kit tried to run npm install, but it couldn't. All the Laravel files and the React scaffolding are created correctly. Only the Node modules folder is missing. We will fix that in a minute using Laravel Sail, which does have Node.js. Now let's move into the project directory using cd command. Now let's add Sail by running the same image, but with the Sail install command. Now in this step, we should choose the services we want. I will take MySQL and Redis, then press enter. Now let's start the containers using sail up command. Now let's wait for the images to build. Now you can see everything is up and running. But we need to install Node packages. Let's hit Ctrl C to stop the containers and then again start the containers, but this time with the -d flag to run the containers in the background. Once sail up command with -d flag finishes and the containers are up and running in the background, we need to install our JavaScript dependencies. We will do that inside sail because it has Node.js installed. Now let's run sail npm install command. That installs React, inertia, with, and everything else our frontend needs. No more npm not found errors. Sail handles it all. Now let's open the browser. I'm using Google Chrome. Let's open up a new tab and type localhost. As you can see, we get an error. It says something like session table does not exist. That just means the database is empty and we haven't created the tables yet. No worries, we need to run the migrations. Let's go back to the terminal and run sail php artisan migrate. Now that all the tables are in place, everything should work correctly. Next, we need to start our front-end development server so that React code compiles and updates as we work. This way, instead of building the assets once, we will use Vit's hot reloading dev server. Let's run sail npm run dev. This keeps running and watches our JavaScript and CSS files. Whenever we make a change, the browser updates instantly. Now let's go back to the browser. I will refresh the localhost tab. And there it is. Our application is up and running perfectly. You will see Laravel starter page, or if starter kit has authentication enabled, you might see a login link. Everything is working inside Docker with Laravel, inertia, and React all connected. Now that the project is ready and running, we will continue building the Smart Task Manager in the next videos. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one.